The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, thanks for joining us. This is TV1 News. I'm Maricela Kelleton.
And I'm Terry Longwood. Join me for sports later on in the bulletin.
In this edition, PNG Capital Market Summit set for May, Pogera Progress Agreement signed, and CRU ready to kick off this weekend. Travelers traveling into Manyamya Station from Leh in Morbe Province noted the smooth state of the notorious road that used to damage vehicles. Proper drainage has also been put in place with contractors and heavy vehicles still moving about. This is the beginning of change under the leadership of the newly elected member Solen Loifa. Today, Loifa launched his district's 5-year development plan and new projects, which were officiated by Prime Minister James Marape. The projects include a new police station, new market, and the Manyamya Station water supply. Prime Minister Marape committed 3.5 million kina to Manyamya, while the Department of Works presented 5 million kina to support the district's road upgrade. The Prime Minister will be spending the night at Manyamya. The recipient of the 2022 Community Project from BSP PNG's People and Culture Strategic Business Unit was recently demonstrated by the PNG Flying Labs. The ICT equipment, which was purchased through the BSP Community Project grant, was showcased at the BSP Waigani head office.
The ICT equipment is playing a crucial role in assisting the PNG Flying Labs with coding programs and digital literacy programs for students, children, women and men residing in the Laloki community and across NCD and Port Moresby. BSP's commitment is not only to being the best financial service provider, but it also ensures that its customers and stakeholders are taken care of from a community level up. This project, along with other support, demonstrates BSP's dedication to improving the lives of individuals within the community. The BSP Community Project grant has provided the PNG Flying Labs with the necessary ICT equipment to expand its digital literacy programs and reach a wider audience. The Laloki community and individuals in NCD and Port Moresby are benefiting from the programs offered by the PNG Flying Labs, which are designed to increase digital literacy and coding skills. The BSP's focus on community development is evident through its support of the PNG Flying Labs and other community projects. By investing in the community, BSP is helping to improve the lives of individuals and contribute to the overall development of Papua New Guinea. This dedication to social responsibility is an essential aspect of BSP's commitment to being a responsible corporate citizen. Kaokiru Jr., TV1 News.
On the 29th of March every year, the National Day of Disabled Persons is celebrated by Book Belong Pikinini, an organization that is committed to inclusive education. As part of the celebration, Noah Agino, the organization's inclusive education officer, has been busy reading his story, I Am Noah, to children at the library learning centers.
Noah Agino has a hearing impairment. He shares his personal experience of growing up with a disability with children on the National Day of Disabled Persons. He is joined by Jonathan, who also has a hearing impairment, and Rena, who has mild autism. Despite their disabilities, both children are thriving in Book Belong Pikinini's early childhood education program and are enthusiastic learners. Bokbilang Pickaninny's programs are designed to be inclusive and welcome children with disabilities to learn alongside their peers. This year's theme for the National Day of Disabled Persons celebration is Transformative Solutions for Inclusive Development, the role of innovation in fueling an accessible and equitable society. As part of the celebration, children at the LLCs participated in activities such as learning to count in sign language and understanding the importance of inclusivity. The Sir Brian Bell Foundation, a platinum sponsor of Bokbilang Pickaninny's Inclusive Education Program, received special thanks for their support. The organization allows children with special needs to enroll for up to 2 years, providing them with the opportunity to become fully literate, as public schools may not always accept them. Its inclusive education program aims to ensure that children with disabilities are not left behind and are able to achieve their full potential. Kao Kidu Jr., TVWAN News.
Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru today announced that the PNG Capital Market Summit will take place on Monday, May 22 this year. In conjuncture, the minister informed that government has directed the Securities Commission of Papua New Guinea to formulate a new 10-year development plan for the country's capital market. The government of Papua New Guinea has directed the Securities Commission of PNG to work with key stakeholders like the Asian Development Bank, Bank of PNG, the Port Moresby Stock Exchange and all capital market players to formulate a new 10-year development plan for the capital market of the country. International Trade and Investment Minister Richard Maru says the aim is to ensure that PNG has a world-class capital market that is internationally respected and recognized by having market structure and regulatory and governance structure that meets the highest world standards.
You see, in order to attract companies to list on our stock exchange, we must have a stock exchange and a capital market and a regulator that's highly respected by the market, both in PNG and globally. So they will be happy to come and list their shares in the PNG stock exchange, so ordinary Papua New Guineans, families can buy and sell shares in this country.
Maru says going forward, he will endeavor to grow the capital market by encouraging foreign-listed companies who buy into or operate and profit from PNG to have secondary listing in the PNG National Stock Exchange.
We are talking to a number of companies. From this press conference, I want you to make it clear to the rest of the investors in this country that the government wants them to list in Port Moresby Stock Exchange. This is a step that they need to take. Like I said, our people cannot continue to be spectators. They need to invest in Papua New Guinea. I want to thank Santos for listing. If a major international company like Santos can list, then to me there's no reason why others can't.
Acting Chairman for the Securities Commission of PNG, James Joshua, says there are currently only 12 companies listed on the stock exchange.
At the moment, there are 12 companies listed on the equity main equity market, but only 12 companies listed on the stock exchange, and the market size, we call it capitalization, the market cap is around 106 billion at the moment, and those are tied up, and we need more activity to people to trade along that. At the moment, our market size is that, but not much.
The new proposed capital market development plan will be formulated with input of industry and international experts. It is expected in the June session of Parliament that the amendments to the Securities Commission Act of 2015 and the Capital Market Act of 2015 will be introduced to begin the reform process. Meantime, Minister Maru announced the appointment of Benny Popoitai as director to the Papua New Guinea National Stock Exchange. Popoitai's appointment was made pursuant to Section 12(1) of the Capital Market Act 2015.
That I've just appointed the former acting governor of the Central Bank of Papua New Guinea, Benny Popoitai, to now be our government's board director on the Port Moresby stock exchange. He will represent government and the people of Papua New Guinea. The current stock exchange in Papua New Guinea is largely foreign owned, so we now need to start appointing Papua New Guinean directors who are very highly qualified, very competent, highly respected, to bring respect to the stock exchange and to help to make sure that national interest is always catered for in decisions made by the Port Moresby Stock Exchange. I think Ben is very, very highly qualified, and he will bring a lot of experience and depth to the capital market and also to the Port Moresby Stock Exchange. This is part of our journey to improve the governance of the stock exchange of Papua New Guinea, so we can start looking at bringing more and more stocks for listing.
International Trade and Investment Minister Richard Maro raised concern that the Pacific Balance Fund and other unit trust and investment schemes in the country have regressed in growth. Maro says it is important that unit trust and investment schemes in PNG improve to help grow the capital market and support domestic investments. For International Trade and Investment, Richard Maro in a press conference today expressed the need for unit trust and investment schemes in Papua New Guinea to improve. Minister Maro raised concern that the Pacific Balance Fund, or PBF, has regressed in its growth, while other similar unit trusts managed by the Mineral Resources Development Authority grew tremendously from 680 million kina in 2008 to 7 billion net worth to date.
I am extremely concerned about the performance of the Pacific Balance Fund, which used to be called the Investment Corporation Fund of Papua New Guinea. Over 20,000 Papua New Guineans are unit holders in that fund. That fund has not been growing. And I will hold the trustees and fund managers of this institution responsible. I want a full investigation into why it has not grown, the fund, when they took over from the Investment Corporation. I understand the value of the funds held was around 500 million. This has not grown. At the same time, the Lihirians, their fund has grown from 600 million, 60 million 10 years ago to 700 million today. MRDC has grown also from 60 to now over 700. Some funds are growing and some are not. I want to know why the ones who haven't grown, and who is responsible. And those responsible, I want to know how we will deal with them and hold them to account.
Minister Maro has directed the Securities Commission of PNG to take stock of all the unit trust and investment schemes in PNG.
This is what the capital market should be doing. In that way, we pull together and mobilize local savings. We give our people an opportunity to invest in these companies. Right now, capital market hasn't grown, it's not respected. Governance is still weak. That's why we haven't been able to succeed. Our government, the Marabe government, cannot accept this anymore. We're going to put our foot down. I want to make sure that by June, July, August, we will develop a 10-year development plan for the capital market, and in that plan, so that how do we improve the performance of the players in the market so we can gain respect and start going out to the market to market all our various funds that we are starting to grow, and people will start investing.
Maro says the national government needs a full report of the PBF as to how it has grown, who its trustee and fund managers are, and what are the objectives and investment portfolios that can contribute value to the investee. This is TV1 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Whether we're playing sport, exercising for fitness, being active for work or play, just having some fun, or just chilling, there is one name we can count on that we know will keep us going strong. Skell rice. Healthy, nutritious, delicious medium grain rice full of vitamins and minerals. Skell helps us maintain a healthy, active lifestyle so we can enjoy every day.
Skell rice. Skell life.
Open nets.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
We see you day in, day out, getting on with the job. Coming out on top, because you're not one to back down. From the islands to islands, from the southern to the Momas, we see you, moving heaven and earth to move our country forward. And at the end of the day, we will be there to serve Papua New Guineans who achieve success with the reward they deserve.
Johnston for the corner, he will get there. It's a great Melbourne Storm try. That is Melbourne's best stuff. Running straight. Oh, Justin Olive lays out Walker, a bone rattler. Wherever you're watching from, welcome aboard. Joining us on sideline will be TVD. Oh, big hit there. It's got numbers on the outside, and Lucara goes in eventually. Oh, and they're claiming a try here, the Vipers. Still going inside ball. This is a beautiful try. This is champagne football here.
Welcome back. After March negotiations and consultations between the PNG government and Barrick Corporation, the new Porgera Progress Agreement was signed today. The state, Barrick New Guinea Limited and New Porgera Limited sealed the deal to progress the resumption of operations at Porgera Gold Mine in Enga Province.
Porgera Progress Agreement confirms that all parties are committed to reopening the mine at the earliest opportunity, in line with the terms of the Porgera Project Commencement Agreement and the new Porgera Limited Shareholders Agreement, both concluded in 2020. Barrick have finally steered Porgera Gold Mine towards world-class production after the mine operations were suspended since 2020. The mine is forecast to produce an average of 700,000 ounces per year, achieving a milestone towards its potential Tier 1 status. The equity in New Porgera is shared 51% by PNG stakeholders, including local landowners and the Enga provincial government. Economic benefits will be shared 53% by the PNG stakeholders and 47% by Barrick New Guinea Limited, which will operate the mine. Prime Minister James Marape says the signing is a win-win situation for all stakeholders.
Today's occasion was a huge step closer to reopening of the Porgera gold resources we have up there in the Enga province. And I just want to place on record my appreciation to all team who continues to work behind the scene. A team from BNL, a team from Kumul Minerals Holding Limited, the team from our state negotiating team led by Chairman Dari Vela, and all our lawyers, state lawyers, barrack lawyers. I also place on record our appreciation to Enga Provincial Government, Governor Say Peras, and the leaders on the ground for their understanding and huge patience to allow the state and the parties involved to go through the due processes.
After the signing ceremony, Barrick President and Chief Executive Mark Bristow said there was strong support from all stakeholders to get Porgera reopened as soon as possible. Barrick says it's been a long journey, but in the process have secured the buy-in of all the stakeholders. For Barrick, the reopening of the mine would represent another victory for the host country partnership.
It really is the start of the beginning, and the next steps are for us to now to transfer the exploration license from the old Porgera to the new Porgera, and then make the application for the special mining license, and that will open the doors to starting up the mine.
With the NPL in place, a new special mining lease will be applied for. Bristow said New Porgera Limited will work with the state and the Mineral Resources Authority to ensure that the SML application process proceeds without delay and in accordance with the Mining Act and the Porgera Project Commencement Agreement. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
A group of ADF personnel is currently in Papua New Guinea as part of exercise Olgeta Warrior, conducting annual training activities aimed at strengthening the enduring relationship between the two countries. The majority of the ADF contingent consists of members from the Australian Army's 3rd Brigade who are working alongside their PNGDF counterparts to enhance their military skills. This includes developing proficiency in leadership, operational planning, vehicle maintenance, logistics, health, and other specialist qualifications. Since its inception in 2009, Exercise Olgeta Warrior has been instrumental in fostering shared understanding, professionalism, discipline, leadership, and military capability between Australia and PNG. As part of their training, personnel from the ADF's 4th Health Battalion recently visited a regimental aid post in Port Moresby to gain a better understanding of the military and civilian health services provided in PNG. A sanctioned media briefing session was held today that was facilitated by the Media Development Initiative on Climate Change and the work of the Climate Change Development Authority. The speakers for today's session were heads of CCDA's 3 technical divisions, Gwen CCO, Deborah Sungi, and Jonah Auka.
Today, a media briefing session was facilitated by the Media Development Initiative on Climate Change and focused on the work of the Climate Change Development Authority. Among its accomplishments, the CCDA has successfully reviewed and amended the Climate Change Management Act 2015, developed a draft of the carbon markets regulations, and established administrative processes to provide regulatory guidance for project developers pursuing the voluntary carbon markets. The CCDA has also established the Provincial Climate Change Office in 6 provinces, completed funding proposals of $9 million to Adaptation Fund and $60 million to Green Climate Fund for climate resilient agriculture and infrastructure, and developed PNG's first National Adaptation Plan 2022 to 2040. The CCDA has several ongoing projects to build resilience to climate change, including the Building Resilience to Climate Change project, which has achieved several milestones in various provinces and regions of Papua New Guinea. The country has developed its National RED Plus strategy, in-country RED Plus safeguard guidelines, and Safeguards Information System framework, qualifying Papua New Guinea to receive results-based payments for its RED Plus results. Speakers of today's brief had this to say on the work done in their respective technical divisions.
During the last 9 to 10 years, we've worked hard to ensure that we have the established governance and governance frameworks and mechanisms in place to ensure that it guides us in the implementation. Noting that there's a lot of issues that we face, and you will You will have to work through a policy, you will have to work through a plan and strategy, and that is the most priority that CCDA had when it established a policy and then established the Act, the Climate Change Management Act in 2015.
So my division deals with how do you mitigate, so how do you reduce emissions, or how do you increase carbon sinks so they remove the carbon from CO2 from the atmosphere. We would like to have the media assist in some way, shape or form to inform people and to give a bit more clarity on some of these things.
Adaptation is basically, trying to look at how we can, it's basically human focus, so focusing on livelihoods, focusing on communities, focusing on the development sectors and how we can try and build the resilience, have them prepare themselves in the event that there's a climate crisis or there's a disaster. We would like to see that most of the pilots or the programs or the projects that we're implementing are replicated all across the country.
Carol Kidu Jr., TVWAN News.
The annual Human Resources Managers Forum started on Thursday, March 30 at the APEC House in Port Moresby. The theme, Data-Driven Leadership and Decision-Making. The forum is an information session for HR practitioners at the national departments, provincial administrations, provincial health authorities, and the public-funded authorities. The health, education, and law and order sector was closely looked because they need a better structure and sufficient manpower to provide the best service from the LLG to provincial level.
Department of Personnel Management hosted the annual Human Resource Managers Forum. The forum was opened on Thursday, March 30 under the theme Data-Driven Leadership and Decision-Making. The forum is an information session for HR practitioners at the national departments, provincial administrations, provincial health authorities, and the public-funded authorities. The two-day forum will enable DPM to provide information sessions through various presentations. Secretary of the Department of Personnel Management, Thais Sansan, said data is vital for any organization to be effective.
And that is to reinforce the differences between data-driven, data-informed, and data-inspired mindsets, so that we can demonstrate how data can help drive business improvements and create competitive advantage.
Speakers and presenters at the forum are expected to project data, central to decision-making processes, to ensure leadership decisions are based on credible data. One vital data exercise is the NID cards for the 330,000 plus public servants, which will enable human resource to have better processing of recruitment, leave fares and other HR modules using online technology.
And by start one them deadline do you plan now haram deadline do you plan all HR managers. June, end of June, you must have all your public servants under you to be under NID. End of the story. Otherwise, you get the matching orders.
And so the next step is to have these registered public servants ID photos uploaded on the payroll. So far 2 agencies have been completed. That's DPM and Nakia.
Minister for Public Service Joe Sungi has put the human resource of each agency to task over this.
And by start one them deadline do you plan now haram deadline do you plan all HR managers. June, end of June, you must have all your public servants under you to be under NID. End of the story. Otherwise, you get the matching orders.
Other key areas that the Minister and Secretary Sansan stressed on included personal emoluments dashboard, reducing public service costs by reprioritizing essential areas and organizational structures. A follow-on from the HR Forum, DPM will also be hosting the 2023 Staffing and Establishment Session with all government agencies in April to May this year as a response to NEC decisions. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
In her address, Secretary for Department of Personnel Management Thais Sansan raised the point of cost-saving measures, especially from administrative agencies. She challenged Treasury and Auspich that if personnel Emolument savings is identified at the end of the year from administrative agencies. Can this be transferred to the health sector, discipline forces and the education sector the following year?
I also want to make reference to the new state-of-the-art hospitals being built around the country. How can we resource these new hospitals with manpower, especially medical specialists, when the PE for these PHAs are being under-budgeted, even with the current staff on strength? So that is really a challenge for all of us. We need to shift where we see, essential areas. We need to make some, strong decisions to move.
The HR Forum was conducted with technology being part of the solution to collecting, storing and accessing data to make informed decisions. Chief Secretary to Government Ivan Pomaliu said while there is no shortage to data, it's inevitable not to have data. Secretary Pomaliu raised more questions, in fact, about the kind of data being collected, how it is carried, stored and accessed, also how valuable the data is and if it is easily accessible. He strengthened the need for data by saying data provides high-quality alternative for the public service to use for decision-making. Chairman of the Special Parliamentary Committee on Public Service Reform and Governor for Oro, Gary Jufa, strengthened with a hypothetical, bloated workforce scenario where taking a data-driven approach to conduct comprehensive audit of the public service was used to identify the root cause. For example, HR divisions having skills to use data effectively.
Using data to identify the root causes of the problem enables us then to solve for that root cause rather than just treating the symptoms. We need to use data to identify problems, to measure progress, and to guide our decision making. By doing so, we can create more efficient and effective organizations that are better equipped to meet the challenges of the 21st century. We need to ensure that our HR teams have the skills necessary to design data collection and through the use of questionnaires, surveys, and observations, and have the skills to be able to analyze this data and draw the correct and informed conclusions.
You're watching TVWAN News. Stay tuned for news from around the region after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bungimyumi.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House.
Right across the nation, we eat snacks crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young planalapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one-time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Strong like you, smart like me. I hope they don't break. Now surely look his son. This is Relaxo. Strong plus shred. Should I try them on you?
No, please. I'll take them.
Relaxo. Very strong, lasts long.
The kid. Oh, look at that! Amazing. And they're over the dragon. Shovels it on. Papali'i gets it on. Kempoa. He's over.
It's the fabric of our state. A state bound by one dream, one colour, one team.
And the battle resumes. Right on the money. It's on in the back plane. Oh, it's on. There are punches. The Magic Man from Newcastle.
Welcome back. Turning overseas, after their busiest season on record, tourism operators in outback Queensland are preparing for another influx of travellers.
Mini Grand Canyon, Porcupine Gorge in northwest Queensland, is an outback tourism gem. Since the pandemic, the national park has never been so popular.
It's not uncommon for us to come here and find all the car parks are full and then a few cars stacked up down the track there, which is something we've never seen before.
Down the road in Hewenden, businesses are preparing for the start of another busy tourist season.
On any given day, our population increases by 50%. That's crazy.
Last year saw record visitor numbers in outback Queensland, but spiralling living costs are expected to temper the upcoming tourism spend.
People are still keen to do things. It's just a matter of they're just a bit more careful with their money. But it's certainly, those interest rates are biting hard and the cost of living is biting hard on people.
The return of cruise holidays is also splitting the market. But tourism bodies say there are still plenty of travellers from Victoria and South Australia eager to hit the road.
We've just done a couple of caravan and camping shows in those states and there's a lot of pent-up demand.
In April, Hewenden will host the brand new festival of Outback Skies. Locals hope the event will attract thousands of visitors to the town and help keep the post-pandemic tourism buzz alive. After his best 2 years in business, Charters Towers holiday park owner Brad Chilton isn't worried about losing trade.
The main thing to consider is there's a huge number of new RVs out there. So people own these caravans and the motorhomes, and obviously they're going to use them.
There are plenty of rugged landscapes for them to explore.
Researchers working on fighting childhood cancer have a new resource with a laboratory in Melbourne designated as a global hub for their work. The Hudson Institute contains what's thought to be the world's largest collection of high-risk pediatric cancer cell lines.
More than 300 childhood cancer cell lines taken from patients around the world, including here in Australia. And it's hopefully going to harness the brainpower of the best and brightest researchers around the globe, acting like a crowdsourcing tool and being able to work as an online open one-stop shop for all of those cancer experts to be able to tap into. We spoke with Professor Ron Firestein, who is from the Hudson Institute of Medical Research here in Clayton, in Melbourne's southeastern suburbs. And he says that hopefully using the best minds as well as artificial intelligence to run through all of these scenarios, they will be able to work out how some of these types of childhood cancer tick and also how to best vanquish them.
We've formed an alliance with 35 different institutes and hospitals in 10 different countries, including US, UK, Germany, Singapore, obviously here in Melbourne, Australia. And all these sites, they send us the patient tumor sample. And we take that sample, we grow it in the laboratory at the Hudson Institute in Clayton, and then we analyze the activity of tens of thousands of different drugs and genetic targets to find what works.
And it's hoped that through tragedies in the past, there can be hope for other patients in the future. We also spoke with Rebecca Goldstein. She lost her son Gideon when he was just 8 years old to a rare form of brain cancer. And she says that her son was quirky with a great sense of humour before he succumbed to this horrible disease.
His health deteriorated and almost a year after diagnosis he died. And it's important for me to continue Gideon's legacy, but also to try and improve the outcomes for other kids who are diagnosed with brain tumours and other rare tumours.
Rebecca Goldstein there, who says she's very proud to be involved in this project. Sadly, around 400,000 children globally are diagnosed with cancer every year. Quite a staggering figure, however, it's only 1% of the total cancers that are out there. And that's why giant pharmaceutical companies are less likely to invest in treatments for childhood forms of the disease. Also, the way that childhood cancers react to certain treatments differs quite markedly from adult cancers, and so that's why this new cancer atlas is so important in providing a real lifeline to patients in the future.
Health authorities are concerned that new vaping devices built to give users 10,000 puffs will be too easily accessed by young people. Queensland's peak medical body is adding its voice to the call for an enforcement crackdown.
Flavours are already attractive to children and teenagers, but the emergence of higher volume devices like this one, boasting 10,000 puffs, has health experts worried.
It's just an incredible amount of nicotine available.
The vape was seized in Australia last year, highlighting how the devices have changed over the past decade.
Original sort of disposable flavoured products that looked like either a USB stick or a highlighter had, say 1 to 200 puffs per device. They were really cheap.
But devices are now more enticing, and the number of young people getting hooked has exploded.
We know from young people that you don't need to give a secret handshake or know somebody or be in the know. These devices are very easy to get your hands on.
Doctors warn the unregulated devices pose significant health risks.
Anytime you vape, you're taking your health into your own hands.
As the law stands, it's illegal to sell vapes to people under 18. Adults also need a prescription for any devices containing nicotine. The state's peak medical body is demanding better enforcement.
We are behind the 8 ball. It's already in our schools, it's already in our community.
Social media promoting and encouraging the habit.
It's just so tempting because I like the taste of it and it tastes really sweet.
Experts say the way the brain handles stress can also contribute to vape addiction.
There can be many, many people that will have one vape and they've never felt so good in their whole life before because of the way it's working in the brain to make you feel good.
Both the state and federal governments are reviewing the vaping industry.
And that ends the news segment. We'll now have the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Sports News is next with Terry Lonbooth. Stay with us.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Strong like you, smart like me.
I hope they don't break.
Now surely look his son. This is Relaxo. Strong plus strength. Should I try him on you?
No, please. I'll take them.
Relaxo. Very strong, lasts long.
about. Sweaty time for everyone.
Gary 2-1. In midfield, one pass over the top. And it's Walani Patterson.
A heavy and bloody encounter earlier took place between the authorities and the said group.
The police raided the place where the vendetta was staying, and one of the witnesses said that Carter was among those that the police engaged with.
We saw it on the news. Vendetta has escaped again?
My son is still alive. I want to see my son.
I'm not gonna stop until I have found them.
Here's Pithian. Boyd chimes in, gives the ball for Rugless. Rugless still going. He picked it back for Pithian. It was Tex Hoy running off Rugless. They've got a penalty advantage. Tia, threading the kick through. Oh, sensational. What a great piece of work from Chase Tia. Wide ball's been lost. Off the blue face. But not forward. And picked up beautifully by Polo, who's into the corner.
Cut out pass. Proctor away for Cameron. He slices through and scores.
Right now, we're facing a man-made disaster of global scale. Our greatest threat in thousands of years, climate change. If we don't take action, the collapse of our civilizations and the extinction of much of the natural world is on the horizon.
And welcome back. 11 clubs are confirmed to compete for this weekend's Multiplus Mosby AFL Lightning Preseason Major Extravaganza. The games will be played in round-robin format, both on Saturday and Sunday, and will feature only senior men's teams at the Coles Oval. Last year's grand finalists Koboni and Eagles are early favourites to take out the preseason challenge. The preseason will also introduce new club PNG Power that will be featured in this year's competition proper in senior and men's reserve and women's division. The teams that accumulate more goals at the end of the tournament will play off for the first and second in the grand final on Sunday, followed by the presentation. Capital Rugby Union has officially launched its 2023 season with round 1 of the season proper set to kick off this weekend at the Barber Park and Murray Barracks Oval. The regular competition will run for 15 weeks with 4 weekends of semi-finals culminating in the grand final on August 12, 2023.
10 clubs are ready to hit the ground running after Wednesday's big launch of the 2023 CRU competition. According to the official master draw, clubs confirmed for this year are Harlequins, Brothers, University, Nova, Defence, Juggernauts, Valley Hunters, Crusaders, Wanderers and Marlins. Round 1 kicks off Saturday and Sunday at the Barber Fields 1 and 2, with matches also scheduled for Murray Barracks on Sundays. The draw features under 19, under 23, Open Women, A-grade man and Premier Man. Kicking off proceedings in the Premier Division this Saturday at 1:45 p.m, Nova up against the Boys in Green Defence, followed by an intriguing match-up between the two heavyweights, 2022 Grand Final runners-up Brothers versus Foundation Club University at 3:45 p.m. This is a long-time traditional rivalry for the annual Aduni Cup. Both clubs have a rich history in producing top players, and no doubt there will be no love lost when they take centre stage in the main event tomorrow. Sunday's Premier matches will see Crusaders take on Wanderers at 1:45 p.m. and reigning Premiers Harlequins meet Marlins in the main fixture of the day at 3:15 p.m. Also on Sunday, the Murray Barracks Oval will host Valley Hunters and Juggernauts in Under-19, Under-23 women and A-grade men, kicking off at 8:30 a.m. Juggernauts won't be fielding a team in the Premier Division this year, while Crusaders and Marlins will sit out the season in the women.
Kokopo City Rugby League Agmark 9's pre-season finals will be staged tomorrow, Saturday, at the Callabon Oval. The tournament, which ran for 3 weekends, will have the top teams, 8 teams, playing off for the quarter and semi-finals in the morning, with the 2 outright winners proceed to the grand final in the afternoon. In the quarter-finals playoff, Rabaul Panthers 1 play 67C Rangers, Foreign Brothers 2 meet Foreign Brothers 1, Page Park Cowboys versus Rabaul Panthers 2, and Ulepia Knights take on KBC Knights. Meanwhile, in the women's grand final, Sisters will play KBC Knights. The main men's grand final will be followed by Agmark Guria's final trial match scheduled for 2:30 p.m. Port Moresby Basketball Association has renewed its partnership with Credit Corp with the announcement of 20,000 kina towards the running of the domestic basketball competition. The official presentation took place last night at the Tauranga Aquatic Centre.
The TAC basketball coach was buzzing with excitement as Credit Corporation CEO Danny Robinson presented a dummy check to the Vice President of the Port Moresby Basketball Association, Lawrence Lahari, in a thrilling sponsorship deal announced and witnessed by the media and all participating clubs. Mr. Robinson expressed his company's pride in supporting Port Moresby basketball and its continuous efforts in keeping the communities engaged with professional basketball games. He emphasized that Credit Corporation is committed to making a positive impact on the community and believes that this partnership with Port Moresby Basketball will go a long way in achieving that goal.
Tonight we want to make a donation of 20,000 kina to the Basketball Association, Port Moresby Basketball Association, in recognition of the efforts that they're making to improve the lives and the people that live in the local communities by playing basketball. And we also hope that the camaraderie that the basketball generates amongst the players will create a community that is safe and a friendly environment for all of the players and officials concerned. So Credit Corp's delighted to be associated with the Basketball Association. We congratulate you on the work and the effort that you do in the local community, and we wish you well for the rest of the season.
Lahari said it was an honor to have Credit Corporation on board for the second year in a row. He spoke of the promising season ahead and the great strides that the association has made in the past few years.
And as you can see from the players that are here, the representation of the 4 clubs that are here. We play on a Tuesday and a Thursday night, and that will go right through till the end of the August, the end of the second round of competition. But listen, on behalf of the Port Moresby Basketball Association, the officials, the referees, and all the players and everyone else, we thank you again for your continued support and look forward to the season 2023.
Port Moresby Basketball actively runs senior divisions comprising of 4 men's and women's teams, with a 5th team joining the competition this week. The games are held on Tuesdays and Thursdays weeknights at the Tauranga Aquatic Indoor Centre. Lawrence added that the partnership between Credit Corporation and Port Moresby Basketball promises to bring a new level of excitement to the basketball community. Currently, the 4 existing clubs are Saints, Exeters, Chariots and Multimax.
And that's all we have for sports. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Terry. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water. Cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
Bye.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.